So what's going on with Keroppi here? Like, well drops is killing the game. I was talking about that a little bit ago. We are now recording. So hi YouTube, like, favorite, and subscribe. We're doing it live over twitch.tv/Maconn. So you see the video after the fact. Come say hi. I was saying a bit ago, like how Keroppi, like, don't get me wrong. Like over the last little bit, I would say probably the last like 2-3 months, I have started seeing like Keroppi making videos that is like slowly starting to show the frustration for PSO that I know we all have. Because I feel like me and Keroppi both kind of was in the camp of like, yeah, we bitch and moan about stuff for PSO, but you know, we try to be, you know, as like helpful, you know, we're not just complaining to complain. We, like, I personally have been talking about this going all the way back to bait PSO2 in 2020, 2021, whenever Nemesis weapon came around, which I think was around episode 3, 4-ish of PSO2. I am super curious to hear Keroppi opinion on it, because you have hung around the channel. You know my opinion on the drop weight, about it being, you know, nothing but, you know, a scam in a lot of ways, especially with the drop weight not actually being tied to percentages. And if they have percentages, I'm super curious about that. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's jump into this. And yeah, I've been saying this in like, I've been saying this in bait game. Doing this in bait game, I kind of like tolerated it because it was like, oh, maybe it will get battle. It never got battle. Let's go ahead. Let's do it. Let's see what's going on with Keroppi. What is Keroppi's opinion of this? I am so curious.
Talking about my thoughts on the new limited time quest as well as the Octo Armor Arga. But before we jump into all of that, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily. So if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe, as it really helps out the channel.
Go subscribe to Keroppi,
without further ado, let's begin the video.
Okay, let's see what's going on here.
So the very first thing I want to go over is, of course, the limited time quest Blazing Battle. So as we can see over here, there are featured item drops. So there are, of course, the Tisha weapons, and then we have the Octo Armor Arga, Arms Refiners 2, Arms Refiners 1, as well as an assortment of all of the different LC capsules. So these are mainly the high value items that probably never ever drop, but people want.
Wow, okay. It's just like, man, that little jab there, like right out the gate. Okay, he's not wrong. Like, Keroppi at 100% on par there, but I wasn't expecting like straight for the throat, you know.
Want them. Now, LC capsules as well as arms refiners do drop fairly often. Every single run, I've always managed to get at least one LC capsule.
I think I have as
well as a bunch of regular.
For the few times we have done it.
But do keep in mind, I was getting S ranks every single run. Now, when I played with randoms, I was pretty consistently getting
we were getting A.
Simply because I think a lot of people did watch the guide video to figure out what to do. And it definitely made the pugging experience a lot more smoother.
Yeah, we're getting AIDS when we did it, outside the full try.
Getting to the last boss or wave 6 versus before people were failing at like wave 2 or wave 3. So I'm pretty happy that a lot of people figured out the mechanics relatively quickly, or they just watched the video and I kind of explained everything. But nevertheless, spamming the limited time quest without a pre-made party is a lot less painful now versus on day 1 that was really, really bad because people are failing on like wave 2. However, that's not the main thing.
Yeah, the tutorial wasn't the most helpful.
In today's video, I really want to give Sega sort of like a wake-up call or shake them a little bit and be like,
Keroppi, they're not listening. They're not listening. I get kinda like G would listen. Maybe a couple out of, but once again, we've been saying this stuff for years now.
Like, this drop rate is not okay. The drop
rate never been okay.
Argas, the drop rate for the Tisha weapons is not okay. You know, how long has the Tisha weapon become available? It's been available for almost a month. And how many people actually have a Tisha weapon? Less than a handful. I estimate that across the entire global
I have never seen
1
any.
to 4, there's probably less than 50 people with a Tisha weapon. And
yeah, I agree with that. And the main reason I agree with that is, to this day, anytime we look in the shop for it, I still never see it. And the one time we did, I want to say the dude was trying to sell it for like $3 or $4 billion. Because to this day, I have only ever saw like one on ship 1.
And people have been farming for this weapon forever and ever and ever. We've had an entire
Don't worry,
seasonal
Chad. They're
event.
gonna give it
We've
to
had
a net month
tons of
before
limited
you.
time quests which feature this item, and it just never drops. So I really need Sega to wake up a little bit and be like,
To be honest here, I feel like the wanting like joke here. You know how I was joking, chat, how I never saw a relic weapon? I want to say, was it the Sonic event? It was like one of the limited time or one of the Origin quests. I don't remember what it was, but I remember we were doing in-game stuff though. In-game, quote unquote. And I, like the fourth time I seen relic in the last, what, going on almost 3 years now, we're literally doing a in-game quest or Origin quest / limited time quest that was level 75. Well, if I remember right, relics is 20, I think, roughly 20, 25 to put in a fetch on what the drop rate like. Was it before Sonic event? I do remember, like, we did one of the quests and then I got like three or four relics, and I was like, wow. But of course, now I get relics when Matt level is 75 and all my quests is like 70 to 75 for like a 20-something weapon. Thanks, Sega. And that is honestly probably what's gonna happen here. Is they gonna once again put out something in the season pass or the seasonal shop that will be semi-on par for during that event, and then they were gonna do some content that will drop like 7 of these. After they always gonna do whatever the net weapon series is that will surpass it. I'm calling it now. Yeah, the point is literally for you to be in doing it content non-stop, because doing the content and not getting it is the content in Sega eyes. The content is you farming it, any if it's new and possible, and you would never get it, or very likelihood never will get it. But in like Sega eyes, it's like I wouldn't doubt someone over there being like, yeah, but you played the game for 400 hours. You wanted content, that content. Like, no, that's not content, Sega.
this drop rate is not okay. The way that the Octo Armor Arga drop rate is, or even just the regular Octo Armor, the drop rates are not okay. They are way too low. I've talked to plenty of people that have farmed for 20 to 30 hours already with maxed out rare drop rates. So they're spending the 800 or so star gems for the 100% rare drop
so they're
rate
technically spending money.
They're spending a lot of money on all of this crazy boosters, and they still haven't seen a single Octo Armor Arga drop.
Yeah, just imagine the people, because I know the people the people that literally doing the star gem stuff or spending hundreds and thousands of real dollars trying to get it, to just never get it. Once again, denying anything new. They go back to the beginning of time for, you know, PSO2 and NGS. But yeah, like the main reason why when people ask me about like, oh, should I buy Buto? No. Buto is nothing more than a lie to take your money. Might it be star gem, might it be AC. Like the only ones that are were mostly usable would be the experience stuff, but any at that point, it don't take long to level, and you know, also Sega do like once a month outside of PSO2 date, you know, where we have what, like 20, 30, 50% bonus AP, or not AP, sorry, experience. And like literally, like I've always said, I've been saying it for years, PSO microtransaction, when they become pay to win such as AC Quatches, it's still the most like bad like microtransaction, and not as in they are like aggressive or like pushy or anything. They are just literally bad, like literally just bad microtransactions, because they don't do anything except for Sega make money.
I understand that Sega wants to artificially extend the gearing progression.
That's what they're doing.
Like, oh yeah, these are super rare items.
By thousands of hours.
But the thing is, this is the main reason people are playing the new content. It's because we want the new gear, we want the new augments, we want the new stuff. And that's the main incentive. You even put it in the freaking featured items list. So that's obviously the thing that is attracting people to grind it out. However, you also need to understand that NGS itself, you guys made this game targeted towards casual players.
Yep.
You basically forsake all of the hard.
This is the only like quote unquote like hardcore player thing in the game, and it's literally the complete opposite of what any hardcore, people want. And the main reason I still like go on for days about like, and the whole reason why I like the way Wayfinder are doing it, because it is so much better system to, instead of having the drop weight insane, guaranteed drop weights, but make it, or semi-guaranteed, but at the same time, literally do it like Monster Hunter. That's what Wayfinder doing, that's what Monster Hunter do, and like, Monster Hunter, literally that whole game series is pretty much built around, the idea of farming items and weapons. Like, literally that's the one thing that game it do, and like doing that type of like artificial inflation of gameplay numbers or time, it just pointless in like so many ways.
Hardcore players to make this game a lot more user-friendly, a lot more easier and accessible for the casual player base, because you saw a lot of potential there. But you implemented some very hardcore mechanics from old PSO where it's like, oh yeah, these weapons are super crazy rare.
Yeah.
But the problem is there's no middle ground. There's no pity system. There's no guarantee. And that is a huge...
Literally my point of like, oh, you can go kill one monster, get the item, or you can go kill that monster hundreds, thousands of times, spend thousands of hours, and then never get it to an NPC thought trading it to you. It's no in between, and at the same time, the whole kill one monster, one quest and get it, like, I feel like every single time we get a new weapon or armor that fall into like the super well camp, it just get Warsaw, and Warsaw. Yeah, because it literally, pissing off the community trying to get the number. Yeah, it just literally one of them cases of like making this, like the argument I just used a little bit ago of like trying to make this be content is, once again, is something that, worked and could work, like a decade ago or 15 years ago, 20 years ago. But it like we were talking about yesterday, of like the biggest issue overall is just Sega just do not know how to train an audience. They just don't. Like, we saw it with the new Dark Falls of everybody being like, I don't need to fucking, level anything. I don't need to grind for anything. It like, I'm gonna one Lucille, get the items, and, just be able to go. Or I'm like, quote unquote, battle power, or what would be, a casual like map battle power. I don't need a farm for extra like 400 or 500. It doesn't matter. Nothing requires that. And then all of a sudden be like, no, you need that. With no like slow progression up to, train your audience to start being like, oh, okay, now you want to farm, now you need to get that item, now you need to get that stuff. When like all you've been doing up to that point is training people to like try, and they don't get it, just wait like a month and a half and just get it easily for free. And then on top of that, like, making it where all content, it just doesn't really matter about fail state. So like, you got the better armament, it doesn't matter. If you have better armament, yeah, it killed up faster, but it doesn't matter. And then just literally just like dropping like the new Darkfall the way they did. And then everybody are caught off guard and not able to do the content, or like so far behind if they can barely like squeeze in. And just like, it literally a training your audience. That is like the biggest problem PSO have. Like, absolutely. Yeah, like if you go look at my like 3,000-4,000 hours in PSO2, I guarantee a good probably like 600, 700, 800 of that for me running in circles in ultimate quests with, full party for all that time and never got it to the NPC started selling it. And like, you can't, like, you literally, you can't be casual and hardcore and then not have your player base. One of the things that is like a bad thing to say, but in game design it's not. How you train your audience with the content you produce, especially if you are wanting to do more harder, difficult content. It's not something you can just drop cold turkey, like, without like pissing off everybody. And then go around being like, graduation, like, we made content that, you guys wanted hard content, we did hard content. Like, yes, but it's not hard in the way you think it hard, Sega,
issue, especially for the casual player. Now, do I consider myself a casual player? Not really, because I sink in a lot of hours into this game since I am a content creator.
Yeah.
So, you know, part of it is like, oh,
Let's be honest, you can't exactly be casual if you're a full-time content creator on this. The reason I have so many hours I do have, and if it wasn't for, like, you know, literally me losing my mind and getting PTSD from Nemesis, I probably would be the type that would be spending, you know, the billions of hours to never see anything.
oh, I'm doing it for the
job,
content, I'm
you know?
doing it for the YouTube videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that gives me drive and motivation to do it. However, if I were a regular player, would I grind out for a Tisha weapon? Would I grind out for an Octo Armor Arga? Would I even grind out for regular Octo Armors? Probably
No. Literally like I've been saying forever. I love PSO. It paid my bill. It did. I loved it. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, if it wasn't my day job, but like I would still love it. I still would play it. But you know, I probably would have like 1 or 2,000, maybe 3,000 less hours. You know, if it wasn't my job, and it's just like, yeah, you bet that from the player base. Especially with like the more casual design structure to start off with. No, like at that point, you no longer stopping to play because you hit your goal. You know, you hit whatever wall it is, or whatever you want to do. Now it's just like you get to a point, you see behind the curtain, and then you just done.
Probably not.
Hey,
I
no
would be like, listen, I'm gonna do my dailies every single day, and I'm gonna pray that I get it. If I don't, too bad. I'm just not gonna upgrade. And that is
me. That is literally me. I log in, I do the daily, they add new content, we do the new content. We run it a few times. I get to a point where I understand it, I can make a video about it. And if I get the item, I get the item. If I don't get the item, who cares? I will get it from a vendor in a month. You know? I am literally who Keroppi are talking about.
a problem. Because you're introducing Darkfall Solus, you're trying to encourage people to gear up to do Lessiel exploration, you're introducing more dual quests, you're trying to encourage the player base to gear up. But the problem is you're gating a lot of players through the most fundamental step, which is actually getting the gear. So sure, I've got all of my LC capsules, I've got my HAL finales, I've got all of my XD capsules. I have a lot of capsules sitting there, but I can't upgrade my gear because I'm waiting and I'm bashing my face against this just to get the basis of my gear, which is of course the armors and the weapon. Would I highly recommend Sega?
Yeah, because it's literally the whole thing of like spending all that time, money, effort, RNG that come with that as well. Is it really worth? Also, that brings up that discussion. Like, is it any worth doing it, knowing once again you put all that money, effort, time, RNG in, just to be like, if you wait like a month or two, it doesn't really matter. You can save all that currency to buy cosmetics, and obviously that's what they want you to do. Which, you know, that brings in the other side of training your audience, and then just hope people doing the content. Or on the other hand, by the time you have the stuff to do the content, because they just giving it away, nobody doing it, and then, you know, everybody just have moved on to the next thing, and then you just go do that. And then, you know, the cycle just repeats itself forever. Now, the thing is about farming is, I know people have different opinion about farming, but when it comes to me and farming, is I don't mind farming. RNG is the problem. Like, for me, like I've talked about many times, when it comes to farming, if I, like, put an example here, like what Keroppi are talking about, how you can see, like, the weapon item list. Instead of it being RNG for getting, and maybe the RNG a little bit better, the drop rate is better, but once again, that a whole another issue. But for me, if like as you guys have been seeing with me with Wayfinder, especially as, you know, we get closer and closer to the end game, is if PSO literally be like, hey, okay, the new weapon is dropping at new quests, and then you do the quest, you do hundreds of hours, hundreds of one, never get it. That is a problem. But if Sega be like, okay, this item is 1 out of 5,000, and then you could do the math and be like, okay, the quest takes 5 minutes to do that times 1,000, and then it'd be like, oh, that quest gonna take 10 hours, that quest gonna take 15 hours, and at the same time of being like one in 1,000, that don't mean it's gonna be on the 1,000 time. It could be at 1, it could be at 2, it could be at 20. Having it like that is, at least for me, so much better, Because for me, when I look at it, instead of looking at it just pure RNG and just like I'm never gonna get that wine bottle, it made me look at it and be like, oh, I can literally get that anywhere from now up to 10 hours, up to 5 hours, up to 30 hours. Is it worth doing? Yay or nay? Let go. So if Sega had a drop rate like that, and then on top of that, if they started doing like the pity system from like gacha games, you know, where it'd be like, okay, it dropped 1 out of 10,000, and the second you kill 10,001, you just get the item. It still took you, you know, 10, 20, 15 hours, whatever, to get the item, but you know you're gonna get the item. And then, like, that how you do the progression. But having a completely RNG and no guarantees, it just make everything pointless. It just make everything feel like it doesn't matter. And then you throw in, like I said, the whole seasonal shop and the NPC just giving you the weapon down the line, or a event giving you the weapon armor, whatever, or you know they shove in an AC scratch, like they have done with some augments. Like, you know, it just literally very much. And then on top of that, how content just get introduced and it'll get taken away in a week or two, or just die, and then no point doing it, which is a whole nother problem on top of that. But that's the bigger issue, honestly, with RNG and well drop. If it literally was, if the player base could look at it and be like, I'm gonna get that in 10 hours, I'm gonna get that in 3 hours, I'm guaranteed that in like 40 hours, but there's still a chance. I feel like, at least for me and a lot of other people that have my same, you know, bitchy and moaning heel, it would be so much better. Like that type of drop weight is like the reason, one of many reasons, but a reason why I played Final Fantasy 11 for like 15 plus shields. Because at the end of the day, it's like, I need to get that item to make money, or I need that item for my character. It'd be like, it was very, you know, like, don't get me wrong, some number might be off a little bit because it was pre-YouTube days, but, you know, for the most part, from, like, buying, like, the strategy guide back in the day, it'd be like, you roughly know what you get yourself into, and is it any worth doing to get it? Might it be for you or financially? And, you know, like I said, that did not PSO at all. So it just make everything feel pointless. Been a whole new month and the new weapons and armor. What the point of trying? Gonna be bringing out new stuff. Nobody going to wait your time anymore. Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like, since you training your player base to know, like, okay, we're gonna have a season event. The season weapons are gonna be like a little weaker, maybe like 50 less damage. But they have like all the other stuff for the seasonal event, so that means the weapon gonna be roughly okay for that month at least. And then literally 3 months later, we get a new weapon series, and then you just spent like 2.5 months farming the weapon series previously. Like, outside the whole Dark Falls, you know, as far as like not preparing up, which they could have easily, like, by what I mean by also preparing, would be like if they were literally doing the headline train, being like, okay, the Dark Fall fight is coming at the end of the month. You guys got like 3 weeks, and they'd be like, recommended battle, or not recommended, but required battle power and X, Y, and Z. And then they'd be like, everybody would be like, oh, not everybody, but you know, the people that pay attention be like, oh, I got 3 weeks to get to that. Let go. I got to get to that before that up. Instead, it worked out like, oh, new quest coming. It's gonna be hard. You won't beat it for a try. See you in a month. And then everybody was like, oh, I'm good. I'm literally pinching penny to get like 5 extra battle power. I'm gonna be fine. And then the content drop, and everybody just kind of like just waited and just be like, it'll be fine. I will get it. It doesn't matter. And then the content come out and be like, no, you need 500 more battle power. And everyone's just like, what the fuck did we do? You know, and like, that is like a perfect example of why Dark Falls ended up going so bad for so many players right now. Yeah, because honestly, the whole RNG bad thing, like, RNG not bad, RNG just need to play by rules. You know, you need to look at the RNG and know, like, oh yeah, I got that at 100 kills. I got that at 50 kills. I got that in 1 kill or 100 kill. 101 will give it to me anyway. You know, like, you can have RNG in that phase. It's just the problem is that phase don't exist in PSO, like, at all. Honestly, I think what it is, Wade, is, like I said, a lot of the player base, it is a lot of, like, hell, you know it's bad when Keroppi are getting upset about something. Honestly, at that point, is the game itself, I feel like it mainly occurred Japan. Outside of Japan, it also getting into the people that, you know, already was attacked between, like, global. You know, already have put in thousands upon thousands of hours, put in thousands upon thousands of dollars. And, like, them people are just, like, you know, the normal, you know, sunk cost fallacy here. You know, they're already too far gone into it to walk away. And then on the other side of that is the people that just treating this as, like, Second Life or VR chat or, you know, the social side. It's like, don't get me wrong, they have their own problems and issues, and not counting, like, the community as a whole in that camp. But, you know, they have, like, totally different problem. And for a lot of them, hanging out in Central City idling, or hanging out at someone's house, or, you know, just picking fights in random cities, it's good enough for them because of just the social part of it. But yeah, I think honestly that kind of what it is. And the one thing I can say is Sega been very good over the last, like, 2 to 3 years of, like, as someone who have went through this, very much like, man, I think it might be time to move to something else. Not only content-wise, but, you know, outside of content. And then it'd be like, okay, I'm gonna wrap this up and we're gonna move on. And then Sega be like, PF4. I'm like, fuck. Okay, I get, we will come back. Welcome to new players in, because new life was good. And then be like, okay, that's slowing down. Okay, I think it's time. It's time to start wrapping this up again. Version 2. And like, what the hell is Version 2? You know, like, house it. And then G Wiz over here talking about Lucille. And like, oh, the sound line might be good. And then he comes out and like, never mind. It good, but it still don't fit the bait problem. And it just, like, Sega, like, very good at that. Like, how I have always constantly said, like, Sega, when it comes to PSO, for a lot of people, it kind of like that abusive relationship. Like, when you thought, like, being like, okay, I'm good, I'm out. You know, they pull you right back in. And then, like, a month or two later, like, you remember, like, yeah, that relationship is not good. And then it just went and repeat. That kind of what I feel like in a lot of ways. And then even more so, like I said, for the people that have, you know, so much time or so much money, you know, invested in it. Like, absolutely. Like, that how it's staying afloat. Good luck making money. Yeah, that was the whole thing. Of like, yeah, you can make money, you know, by doing the battle pack stuff. Because, you know, they give that to you in the free, like, mission pack thing. But at the same time, it's like, you can make some good money in 3 days, but it only 3 days. As inflation keep going and whatnot, and then not counting how that time limit is so limited, because you pretty much, they'll just constantly refreshing your personal shop, so you don't get any alerts or anything when stuff sells. So you have no idea when stuff sells, so you're constantly, like, just staying logged in, refreshing it constantly, and just like, that's not fun. Well, with premium, it's just like you put it up and then, you know, you get for 30 plus days, depending on how long you have been, you know, playing, buying, whatever. I still feel like, honestly, the way they did it in PSO2 was still way better, with the whole thing of like, oh yeah, go play co-op, play with your friend, get points, take point, buy quack ticket. Okay, this is a very common item. Here, your 3-day pack to the shop. Literally, like 3 hours of farming in PSO2 pretty much got me enough sell path to be like, oh, I can literally just sell for like 2-3 years without having to buy premium, because of just how that was, which it makes sense why Sega got rid of it, because, you know, why have something that, you know, you can't monetize? Because for the people that only care about shop, why would you buy premium, you know? And you have to have a lot of reasons to buy premium in bait game. But yeah, literally making it like once a month thing, it's just like, now, the main reason why I still wish it was free-to-play player can sell 15 items on the player shop, premium can sell 30 at a time. I still want them to do that, because like, I feel like that would help so much. Well, not just the 1% trading items, you know, among themselves. Yeah, also the gambling side as well, because, you know, it's another reason why, you know, game do the gambling stuff, because, you know, it works. So that like another thing. Like I know I have literally seen people that like literally all they do is they just set in central and they just gamble with the AC scratches. And literally that's what they do. They just buy AC scratches, flip the items, buy the items they want, so they can look pretty in central and win and repeat. Like not meaning it as a bad thing, you know, if you enjoy it, you do you. Just be healthy about it, all I ask. But yeah, like that also a whole side of the game as well. But at the same time, it's like I still say once NGS one it calls and they move on to whatever the net MMO or PSO project is, it's not coming back. It's gonna stay Japan only. I promise you, it's not gonna come outside of Japan. Outside of maybe like Korea or something.
Got to do is to go back to the drawing board and either increase the drop rate for all of these items to the same as how they were with the Relic series back in Retam, because with the Relic series, after a week, you saw a bunch of them on the player market. It wasn't
okay. I was gonna say I never saw any important recently. Player market, I do agree, because the people who are farming it, like the people like, you know, trip shopping and whatnot, like yeah, they saw it.
Super rare, but it was just rare enough that people were like, oh my god, you got that weapon, that's amazing. Or if you bought it, they're like, oh wow, you know, you spent a lot of money and you bought it. It wasn't so rare to the point that there's like 10 people on ship 2 that has a Tisha weapon. And that is an issue because it's been out for so long. It's been out for
it's gonna be obsolete in like a month and a half
for it.
If
and
not
if
sooner.
only 10 people can say that, hey, I got a Tisha weapon, that is a huge.
I'd be interested to know what the number is, like legit, how many people actually have got it, and then how many people actually got to fix it on them. That would be fascinating data to know.
Issue. Unless, of course, you're trying to kill your player base and you're like, yeah, this is a stupid rare item that only 10 people are going to enjoy, but everyone else, you know, the other thousands of players, they can just go screw themselves. That is an issue, you know? You need to cater to the mass majority of players. Because right now, I am really scratching my head. I've got 1 Octo Armor Arga, and I've got 2 Ephetus Armor Argas. So, you know, the Ephetus Armor is old news. This came out way back in Stia, right? These were free from the Stia red boxes.
Yeah.
And I
so me and Keroppi in the same camp. I have 1 of the Octo Armor as well. And I have 1 of the new weapon series, that not the t-shirt, but the one that you can buy. And I got them all like equipped with the augments. And I still can't get into Dark Falls.
Any of my gear since then until the Octo Armor Arga. Now, I have all of my capsules ready. I've got some HAL Finales, I've got my XD capsules, I've got all of my LC capsules. I am ready to invest, to upgrade, to get myself stronger. But the thing is, the bloody item doesn't drop. I've been farming for, I want to say, 20 hours the past week. I've invested 20 hours into this limited time quest, and I've gotten 1. I don't think that's okay. I think that's a problem. I really think that's a problem.
I agree.
The average player is not going to invest as much time as me, since I'm a content creator. I'm farming this to give people the information, to let people know what the hell this bloody thing does. And it's just an issue, guys. It's just
to be honest, they're like, you better off. Let be real here. They're like, God be the Keroppi. God bless Keroppi on doing that. But at the same time, as I have learned over the years, is you can spend all the time to get that item to make a video that you may or may not get, or you might have to buy, or never get in general. And it just, at that point, it's more reliable to just go to our busy phone. And literally just be like, oh, they're the number, they're the stats. Because since the stats in general don't adjust that far, you can very easily calculate how this stuff will actually work, you know, at quote-unquote in-game. So you could literally get them videos up fairly quick and be accurate without having to go through the headache of, like, doing this. But yeah, any doing, like, the video of it, like, you know, once again, just make it feel any more, like, pointless. Because it's like, you can't be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna hop on, play for 10 hours, get it, make a video. No.
It's a huge issue. I really need Sega to go back to the drawing
board. I know that very
content
content creator side, but
because the average player, if I were the average player,
they need to completely.
I would have stopped farming this long ago. I would have tried maybe 3 to 5 hours, and if I didn't get it, and there's no pity system, and there's no guarantee, no nothing,
literally me.
I'd be like, screw it, I'm done.
Literally, Keroppi is disappointing me right now. And once again, I was a full-time, is technically kind of, a full-time content creator on PSO, and I literally said, fuck it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the sanity. I'm just gonna go to alt busy phone, and we're gonna call it a day, If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. I'm not gonna treacho boy. But honestly, this whole situation, in one of them cases, honestly, not only do they need to rebalance this, I personally think they need to scrap all of it. Just scrap every thing tied to drop weights and every item pull on every enemy, and just redo it. Burn it to the ground and start over. Which I was kind of hoping that what version 2 were gonna be. It was gonna be like, a reboot NGS. Cause let's be honest, this is not working. And it haven't been for years.
Moving on to Armored Core. I'm gonna go play the new shiny game, and I'm just done with farming this. I'll just log in and do my dailies, and that's it.
Yeah,
and
once
the
again,
thing about just doing your dailies every single day, that is a dangerous game, Sega. A lot of people burn themselves out from just doing dailies. Look at Nikkei, look at Genshin, look at Honkai Star Rail. If there's nothing that people are striving for, nothing to improve their gear, nothing to improve their account, nothing to improve their fashion game, they're gonna burn out if the only thing they have as a driving force is doing your dailies. I know this because I play a lot of gacha games. Now, I'm built different because for some reason, I just don't get sick of it. However, this thing really struck a nerve for me.
Yeah, to be honest, for me, I'm like I'm in the middle on that. Like on one hand, I do get sick of it, but on the other hand, is at the same time as example, like when it comes, like the example I can give offhand would be like Final Fantasy 10 or 11 or whatever, but let's say 10 for this example. I literally went around in circles for hundreds and hundreds of hours farming stuff in like Xanakin Ruins to level my party up just so I could one-shot a boss like in 2 turns. Like, I'm not against like doing that type of farming or that type of grind, but the problem is like in that and in a lot of other games is like you feel the power game, you feel the progression, and even if you're not getting the item you want, you still feel like you're getting stronger and you're still getting something out of it, and you just don't with NGS.
Like farming these Octo Armor Argas,
so I can play both ways on this.
This is the thing I need. I'm gonna farm this until I puke blood. And 20 hours later, I'm puking blood in the toilet. I'm going, why won't this drop? What is going on? And
to be honest, I'm kind of surprised it took this long for Keroppi to get to that point, but we all get here in the end, chat.
Yeah, Sega, please just go back to the drawing board, increase the drop rates. You can even make
the drop like real.
I don't care. But these armors and these weapons and this type of stuff, it needs to be a lot more accessible for the average player. But with that rant out of the way, is the Octo Armor Arga actually worth it? If you're a melee class or a range class, yes, it's worth it. However, keep in mind that it's super crazy rare. It's like on the same level as a Tisha weapon rare. So it's like, okay, yeah, sure, if you get one, that's great, congratulations. The nice thing about these armors are they are tradable, so you can sell them on the marketplace. I saw a couple going for like 40 million. I don't know if they actually sold or not, but I mean, they're that rare, so I guess
I'm surprised they're not higher, to be honest.
If someone else got one. But other than that, the stats itself is kind of mediocre. It doesn't give you more potency versus the regular Octo Armors. So if you are a person that likes to play multiple weapon types, so let's say that you need an all potency build, then just stick with the Octo Armors. The Octo Armors drop a lot more often than the Octo Armor Argas. The only benefit you get from the Arga variant is you get 20 more HP and you get 6 photon power, and that's it. That's really it. So honestly, for the average player, if you have regular Octo Armors, you can just invest into that. You don't need to bash your face against the wall and start puking blood for the Octo Armor Arga. Now, of course, if you are a patient person, or maybe, PSO2 isn't your main game and you've got other games to play, then you can just wait. You can legitimately just wait until the new limited time quest next week, where it's like a 32-man boss rush. Maybe the Octo Armors will drop a lot more often in that limited time quest. I promise
you, it's gonna drop battle we're gonna unlock level 80 or level 85, and that is when it's gonna start dropping. We're gonna get like 6 of them in one, and one we get the net, you know, Origin Quest slat like expansion in like God, what would be the net one? I get the net one be what, like December? Just saying.
Really know. And of course, if you're even more patient, you can just wait until next month. We're gonna get another seasonal event. You're gonna be able to get a bunch of armors as well as a bunch of augments that way really easily. So, you know, if
That
you
might
just
not be
wait,
as good,
life is gonna be a lot
but
less
it's gonna
painful
be
for you. But
closer
if you're
to
like
none.
me and you need armors now, or you really want to upgrade your gear now, it just sucks. It just straight out sucks, because
The better opinions if you just
wanna
wait
upgrade
for them
my
to give it
gear,
to you.
Sega. I put in 20 hours already.
Exactly.
How much more do you want
Exactly,
me to farm
Pete.
to just get one extra piece of
Like
gear?
wait a month, wait a
technically,
month and a half.
more, but
Do the
still,
event, get it for free, or
it's
something
just
on
stupid.
par wobbly.
It's at the point of insanity.
Why?
So
Why
I understand
bottle?
the frustrations from a lot of players, and I too am pretty frustrated. Maybe if they added in the regular Octo Armor in the limited time quest and you got that pretty frequently, maybe it wouldn't sting as bad, because I'd be like, oh yeah, at least I got the regular Octo Armors that I can use, even though they're not tradable, but at least I can use them, right? But yeah, it just really sucks. So in conclusion, this limited time quest is really designed for pre-made parties. So let's say that you've got 3 other friends, you're all on Discord, you're just chatting away, and you know, whatever's happening in PSO2 or in NGS is just filler content while you're having a good time with the boys in voice chat, then it's fine. This is okay content. You know, it's a little bit challenging, you do need to do a little bit of mechanics.
And it's
got
gone
that
in like
je
a
ne sais
week.
quoi, little bit of spice in it.
I know.
So
Yeah, like wait a minute, friends. All the friends I had in the PSO community fucked off after like Retain. I don't have any friends in the PSO community anymore. Like don't get me wrong. Like we hung out with Nightshade a few times, but I think she on what, like ship 2 or something. Ship 2, ship 3. Like we got Miku, but Miku on ship 4. Everybody I knew on ship 1. Like, you know, we got Mason, we got CM, but like I feel like, you know, this type, no. I feel like having like twin for pushing, not really.
it's like, okay, cool, it's a little bit different, it's a little bit fun. However, for the mass majority of the players, you don't need to do this. Honestly, it's not worth the pain to farm for the Octo Armor Arga. You might as well just wait, because for people like me, other people who have whaled a lot harder and spent a lot of their star gems as well as AC on rare drop rate boosters, they've dumped in 20-30 hours with 200, 250, 300% rare drop rate, and they got nothing to show for it. So if you're the average player, I say, you know, do a daily, do your 1 run a day and hope you get it. If you don't, tough, just whatever, just move on. It's not really worth your time.
Special thanks to all the members for supporting the
I
channel.
did literally
It really
my
means a lot
opinion
to
on
me.
it.
Thank you again.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about in today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.
Keroppi at 100% white hill. 100%. I agree with him in every way beyond. I'm surprised it took him that long to get to that point, but you know, once again, we all get to the same destination in here in multiple ways. But yeah, 100% literally what Keroppi describing is literally what I have become over the last few years. So yeah, make sure, chat, make sure you go give Keroppi some love. Give him all the love he needed, all the PSO content crew needed. So especially Keroppi, go do it, because somehow he's still same making videos every day about PSO. But if you happen to see that Keroppi or anyone else down the line, chat, don't forget, chat. If you want something that will you know, will bet your time a little bit better, and it just PSO2 or PSO Blue Bolts, don't forget, chat, they're still always Wave Final. Go play Wave Final.